Alright, students, here's Mr. Rigo. Welcome to the review of the Monday 323 packet. You can see you're using place value to subtract. You're subtracting 3-digit numbers. Of course, make sure you go through what's in the box at the beginning so you'll know how to solve the problems, and this is something we've done a lot, so hopefully this is easy for you. This is a very important skill. Got to be able to know how to regroup, to subtract. Make sure we can do this. We have to make sure we can do this. And an interesting thing about this particular page is that it also asks us to estimate, just like it did on the last one. So we get to practice our rounding as well as our subtraction. All right, we're gonna go to let's go to number 7 at the bottom. I'm gonna do this one. So first, let's estimate. So look at our hundreds place. Look next door, 5 or higher. Add one more. So our 700s goes to 800s. Now the bottom number, look at our hundreds place, look next door, 5 or higher. Again, it's 5 or higher, so we add one more, so it goes to 400. So if we estimate our difference, it's 800 minus 400, which gives us 400. So that's the estimate, would be 400 after we round to the nearest hundred. But now we also want to find the precise answer, because it's not asking us to just estimate. It says estimate, then find the difference, right? It wants a precise difference as well. 7 minus 8 is 1, correct? Wrong. 8 minus 7 is 1. 7 minus 8 you can't do, right? You cannot subtract a larger number from a smaller number. We have to regroup. So we move over to the tens place. We take these 8 tens, we're going to take a 10 away from that. So the 8 tens becomes just 7 tens. Now we take that 10 that we just took away and we put it together with our 7 ones to make 17 ones. Now we have these 17 ones minus those 8 ones gives us 9 ones. Now we can go over to the next place value, tens place. 7 tens minus 7 tens, well, 0. We just took them all away. 700s minus 300s, 400s. So your precise answer is 409, which is actually very close to your estimate. Alright, but of course the precise answer is more precise. Moving on. I want to do number 3 on, this is series 6, page 3, and we're going to number 3. I'm choosing this one because this is something we actually haven't studied yet, but it's mixed in here with the other problems, so now's a good time for a little mini lesson. And I think some of you might already be able to do this, because I think for some of us, we've studied these different types of shapes in earlier grades already, and there's nothing too out of the ordinary here. So I think most of you should probably be able to do this already, but let's just make sure. So it says Maricruz drew the figures below, and you see all these different figures here. There's 10 different shapes. Maricruz drew more cubes than cylinders. Alright, so more cubes than cylinders, more square pyramids than cubes, more cylinders than spheres, or an equal number of square pyramids and cylinders. Alright, so in order to answer this question and figure out which one of these sentence endings is true, we actually have to check the shapes and see which one is true. So let's see about A first. Let's check cubes and cylinders. Are there more cubes than cylinders? Well, let's check and label our cubes. Well, here's a cube. And a cube is basically like a square block, right? So, most of you have played with blocks when you're younger, or maybe still. So It's just a square block. There's one cube. Here's another cube. Here's another cube. We've got 3 cubes. Alright, so are there going to be more cubes than cylinders? Right, and the cylinder has like a circular base, and then it goes straight down. It's sort of like a can or a jar. Those are in the shape of cylinders. So here's one cylinder, and I'm just going to, instead of writing the whole word cylinder, I'm going to write C-Y-L, but I still want to label it. There's one cylinder, here's another cylinder, here's a third cylinder, 1, 2, 3, we've got 3 cylinders. So are there more cubes than cylinders? No. Right, there's an equal number. So I know A is out. Okay, what about square pyramids and cubes? Well, I just found the number for cubes, so I can write that down already. There are 3 cubes. Well, how about square pyramids? Okay, let's find my square pyramids. In a square pyramid, there are 2 types of pyramids. Well, there could be more, I suppose, but there are typically a square pyramid with 4 corners as a base, like this one is a square pyramid. You can imagine, you can't see that back side there, but you can imagine there is a 4th corner there, so there's a square base. The other type of pyramid that could be typically is a triangular pyramid, where it'd be a triangle base, and it'd go up to a point like that as well. But anyway, the key word here is pyramids. So let's count our pyramids, and we'll just label them PYR. There's 1 pyramid, 2 pyramids. Well, it's just 2. So are there more pyramids than cubes? No. There are fewer. There are only 2 pyramids, and there are 3 cubes. So this is wrong. Not more. There are fewer. More cylinders than spheres. Alright, well, we already found our cylinders. We found that there are 3. So I know there are 3 cylinders. Well, how many spheres? Well, a sphere is like a ball. Okay? And they're the only 2 shapes that are left. Right? We counted our cylinders. That's why it's important to label, by the way, because you want to make sure you don't miss anything, or count something too many times. If it's labeled, you'll probably count them up correctly. So we've got 1, 2 spheres, and I'm just going to label SPH. Just shorten it a little bit, just to save some time and space. So we have 2 spheres. So are there more cylinders than spheres? Well, 3 is more than 2, so sounds like my answer. Let's check the last one just to make sure. An equal number of square pyramids. Well, we already found that. Square pyramids are 2. And cylinders. And we already found that. Cylinders are 3. Are they equal? 2 is not equal to 3, so D is wrong. C is your answer. Great. Okay, let's move on to a different problem. I like number 5 because it's a little bit tricky, just a little bit. Let's go over it. So number 5 says 48 students, 2 teachers, and 1 administrator. It'd be like, your dean or your director or principal. So 48 students, 2 teachers, and 1 administrator went on a study trip to a zoo. Each person paid $8. So each person paid $8. What is the total? The total amount of money the students paid. This is a very important word here. Students. What is the total amount of money the students paid? So, this is why answer statements are so important. Because you want to know what question you're actually supposed to answer. Because I could ask like a bunch of different questions based upon this information. But this is the question that's being asked here. This is the question that we need to answer. And that's why it's important to write your answer statement. The students paid blank total. Okay? They paid blank whatever, and I'll write the $, blank dollars total. How many students are there? There are 48 students. How much does each person pay? $8. these are the two important bits of information here. Two teachers. Do you need to know about this? No. It's not asking about how much money did all the people pay. It's just asking about the students. So this is just a distractor. This is information that's just there to distract you. If there was a different question that asked, like, how much did all the people pay in all, then you would have to include the two teachers, and you'd have to include the one administrator. But for this problem, it is only asking about the students. So this is just distracting information, and so is the one administrator. We don't need to consider the two teachers nor the one administrator. We only need to think about the 48 students. So we've got 48 students, and they paid $8 each. So it's $8 48 times. And if you wanted to, you could draw a picture, and you could do 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 48 times. Or you could do 48, this would be easier, you could do 48 plus 48 plus 48 8 times, right? But the easiest way is to just multiply. So I've got 8 times 48, right? I've got $8 48 times for 48 students. So you start with your ones place. 8 times 8 is 64. Put the 4 down, carry the 6. And then 8 times 4 is 32. So again, that's times tens now, right? So it's 8 times 4 tens is 32 tens. Plus the 6 tens you already had up there gives you 38 tens. So it should be $384, which is D. All right. Okay, students. I want to show you just one more real quick before we go. Let's look at number 4 up above, because this is a type of problem that you probably almost definitely see on the STAR test if you were to take it, and when you do take it in the future. So you have to look at this number line and look at the jumps, and you have to think about what it means. It says look at the model below. Here's the model. The model best represents what? So really, you're looking at your answer choices to figure out which one is the match for this model, okay? But before you even do that, you could think about what this model is showing you, right? This model is showing you, well, it goes from 0 to 36, and then something is subtracted until it ends up at 24, and then something subtracted again, and it ends up at 20. So let's see which one of these number sentences helps explain what this is. 4 times 9 minus 20. Well, 4 times 9 is 36, but this doesn't show 4 jumps of 9, and it doesn't show 9 jumps of 4. It's just one big jump. So this model doesn't really represent 4 times 9. And if I subtract 20, well, it finishes at 20, but 4 times 9 is 36, minus 20 is 16. But this doesn't end at 16, it ends at 20, so we know F is wrong. G, 36 minus 12 minus 4. Alright, 36. Hey, here's 36. Okay, minus 12. What, is this minus 12? Isn't this minus 24? No. It is minus 12. Minus 12 is this jump right here. 36 minus 12 equals 24. That's what's happening there. 36 minus 12 equals 24, and then minus 4. 24 minus 4 equals that 20. So your answer is G. The biggest distractor is J, actually. J shows you 36 minus 24 minus 20. But those are the landing points. It's not 36 minus 24 minus 20. It's 36 minus 12 equals 24. Minus 4 equals 20. So you have to be careful. Don't just try to match up the numbers. Actually think about what's happening on these problems. All right, you guys. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.